We're flying into this segment. Amelia Earhart lands in Prescott, female pilot icon, and probably set the stage for many women we see in aviation today, probably gave them the inspiration to take that up as a career or as an avocation. Roberta Bassin is here. She's film and television actress, and you are doing Amelia Earhart in her own words.
Yes, I am.
And you've done this before?
Many times. I've done it for 11 years.
Why Amelia Earhart? What inspired you? Do you fly? Well, I know you probably fly, but I mean, do you actually fly? Do you have a license?
No, I don't have a license, but doing this character and having written the play, it's taken me into the most amazing situations, meeting the most amazing people I would never have had the opportunity, and I actually have gotten to fly an airplane.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
Don't you love it?
Yes, I do. It's funny. I like flying the plane. I don't like being a passenger because I don't have control.
Oh, there you go. Control.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
What do you personally find fascinating about Amelia Earhart?
Well, Amelia was a visionary. She knew that flying would be the wave of the future, that people were just going to travel around the world, that it was going to be a global society. She said that, and she just felt that society had to catch up with it.
So she had a crystal ball, you think?
She sure did. She sure did. And she was a very brave woman, and it wasn't, she was brave and she was courageous, but not just in the fact that she was adventuresome, that she did feats of high adventure. It was that she spoke her mind very carefully. She knew how to say things, but she said them, and she championed human rights. The focus is always on women's rights, but which was a huge part of her,
But I like human rights a lot.
But it was human rights. And
was she the champion for women way ahead of her time as far as being liberated and being equal, if you will?
It's interesting because, you know, she married George Palmer Putnam. He was the top promoter, top publicist of that era. And because of the success of her flights, she had a platform. And she used that platform with him as a publicist to champion the events that women were involved with, the successes they'd had. Women were flying a long time already. As you know of Harriet Quimby, 1911, she was this beautiful...
She was the poster child for this, though, for women.
For Amelia Earhart, right. She brought it to the forefront. And she said, a flyer is a flyer. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Women can do the same thing as men can, and even maybe better. And
dispelled a lot of the stereotypes, right, between men and women.
Exactly. And one of the reasons that she was the choice in the beginning, you know, she was chosen to be the first female passenger to fly across the Atlantic. She didn't fly the plane. She didn't fly the Friendship, even though people think that. And even though she was actually contracted to do, she was named as captain, but she never really flew the ship. But the reason she was so celebrated was she was the first woman, I mean, just imagine, not even to fly, but the first woman to cross the Atlantic in an airplane.
Now, the photos we were looking at were courtesy of?
Courtesy of Gabrielle Bresnik, whose husband was Albert Bresnik, and he was Amelia's official photographer from 1935 to 1937. And I had the opportunity to spend the afternoon with Gabrielle before I came here, and she was very excited to be able to share these photos with Arizona.
Let's talk about her disappearance.
Okay, yes, let's. Now that's the most exciting part of the show. You know, when I do my show, Amelia Earhart in Her Own Words, the play is so much fun, and as a historian, I'm very meticulous about facts.
Okay.
Then there is the portion of question and answers and discussion. And that is always exciting because people really have very strong opinions about what happened to her. And it's a mystery. It's still unsolved. It is an unsolved mystery as to what happened. There is the factual situation. She, of course, has never been found. No materials have been found that can be
yeah, right. Contributed to, yeah.
Yes, right.
Well, I saw a recent report on that, just surfaced, that they, in a photo of her taking off, a rare photo, something on the back of the plane had broken, it controlled the communication, and she was...
That's something that I saw that also. And I've been trying very hard. I've slowed the tape down to watch if that actually, what we're talking about, is a wire that was underneath the bottom of the Lockheed, and it was a long, thin wire. It was held up by two prongs like this. And I've slowed that tape a number of times to see, first of all, if that was really there before she took flight. And I did finally see it. It was very hard to detect. Okay. The next thing is to know if that actually was ripped off. However, before I came here, because I had seen the newest evidence that they've been talking about, if that was one of the factors in her disappearance and not being able to communicate. Right. And I talked with some experts before I came. I talked with Elgin Long, who also has a book about her disappearance, and he said that that had nothing to do, whether that was pulled off or not. I do not see it pulled off. I could not determine. I was trying to.
And I don't know all the in-depth, as many don't, but you probably know much more. Do they think it's at the bottom of the ocean? The plane is at the bottom of the ocean somewhere, or
you know, the word "they" is huge, and there are so many different schools of thought, really. I mean, there are books and books and books. There is heated debate. I was at the Amelia Earhart convention, essentially, in Kansas City, in Atchison, Kansas, rather, where she was born. And you cannot believe the really arguments. I mean, it can almost come to fists.
Oh my
I
goodness.
swear I have never seen.
About this.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Where can we hear you and when?
Well, I'll be at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University at 6 p.m. Tonight. Tonight. Yes. And it starts at 6. So
free event.
Free event. And I'll be there. Amelia will be there. And it'll be a wonderful, exciting evening, and I just can't wait to
And bring your questions.
We understand that you embody her essence when you're talking about that. I've been reading the reports.
And thank you so much for having me here.
Our pleasure.
When we come back, it's 3 days of jazz with Milt Cannon. Jazz Appreciation Month. You stay there.